Welcome to Transform Your Health series. I'm Trudy.
And I'm Tonya, and we are so glad that you joined us for this webinar. Together, Trudy and I have over 50 years of combined experience in the fields of health, wellness, and health coaching.
Our topic today is, what does a nutritionist look for when choosing supplements? When most people go to buy supplements, they generally assume three things, but these three things are myths. They generally assume the product is safe, it has been scientifically proven to work, and the product and the company can be trusted. These are all myths. I used to think the same thing until I uncovered the rest of the story. Now, it's hard to know what to think when you go shopping for vitamins, because one company says, mine's the best, this is organic. Another company says, you're going to feel better, you're going to feel like $1 million, this works a miracle. So how do you even know who to trust? Well, when your health is at stake, isn't it important to know that what you're spending your hard-earned money on is actually safe and effective for your health? Let's look at the facts. Let's look at DSHEA. In 1994, Congress passed legislation known as the Dietary Supplement Health and Education Act. And in that act, there are two important things to know. Supplements are regulated as food, not drugs. And the FDA's responsibility for oversight is after a supplement is on the market and has proven to be harmful. In fact, the FDA has a web page about tainted supplements, and they say the FDA is not even able to test and identify all the products marketed as supplements that are on the market, the supplements that have potentially harmful hidden ingredients. Review, the FDA is not even able to test those. So as my friend said, beware of bargains in parachutes, brain surgery, and food supplements. And I totally agree with that statement. Also, don't be deceived by the word natural, because arsenic and lead are 100% natural, but we know they're not safe. As a matter of fact, the FDA also has a webpage about the word natural, and in it they say that the word natural on a label is not intended to even address food production methods. It's not intended to address the use of pesticides, food processing, irradiation, or any of those things that can be in our food and in our supplements. These are direct quotes from the FDA. So, in all this confusion, Tonya, can you help us cut through it and figure out who to trust?
Yes, absolutely. So I would love that were a picture of me when I was a little girl, but this picture reminds me so much of what has characterized my entire life, and that's looking for answers. I used to say I was a skeptic at heart, and then I realized that what I really am is a person who has a lot of questions, and I'm always looking for answers. My whole life has been characterized by asking questions and trying to get to the facts about something. And so it wasn't any different for me when I started looking for a supplement brand, specifically and first and foremost for my son, who had some major health challenges as a toddler. But having a science background and my background in nutrition and orthomolecular medicine, it was also really important to me to find a supplement that I felt like was safe, clinically tested, and effective to use with my clients. But remember, the most important thing to me in that moment was finding something that was safe for my son to help with his health challenges. So this is kind of a great graphic of the process my brain goes through, from question to the gears turning to having an idea and then going, okay, great, I found a solution. And that's the process that I use to approach really all of the challenges with the people that I'm working with their health challenges. And so it was the same basic process that I used 20 years ago when I was looking for a supplement company that I felt like I could trust, because with my background in nutrition, I knew there were a lot of supplements on the market and that some of them weren't safe and some of them weren't effective, and most of them weren't even tested. And so I really wanted to make sure that whatever I gave to my family, that I consumed for myself, and then ultimately what I recommended to my clients was clinically supported, and that I knew that I could be certain that it was safe. Because as a wellness professional, not only is my reputation at stake if I'm recommending a product that doesn't work, but also there's a liability factor. I've got to make sure that what I'm recommending is safe for the people that I am giving it to. And really, because it was first and foremost for my kids and for myself, I wanted it to be safe for us to consume as well. So there are 3 facts that were really important for me to know. First, I already knew that not all supplements are created equally. Not only did I have a Bachelor of Science degree in education and also nutrition, I was certified as a personal trainer, and I had worked at actually worked at a vitamin shop, not the vitamin shop, I'd worked at a supplement store through college. And so I knew that not all supplements were created equally. And then also, very few supplements are clinically tested and proven to work. So that's another thing that I knew for a fact. Also, I realized that blindly trusting any company wasn't a good idea because, there was money involved. And so it pays to be a little bit skeptical when it comes to your health and when money is involved. Now, Linus Pauling is somebody whose research that I admired a lot. And he said, I believe that you can, by taking some simple and inexpensive measures, extend your life and your years of well-being. My most important recommendation is that you take vitamins every day in optimum amounts to supplement the vitamins that you receive in your food. So when I'm working with my clients, of course, I want them to emphasize a healthy eating plan because your supplements aren't supposed to take the place of proper eating, proper nutrition. However, high quality supplements are necessary, particularly in this day and age, to supplement what we're getting from our food so that we can have optimum health. So why did I pick Shaklee as my brand partner? I really analyzed the data, and this is part of my process. So first of all, Shaklee was 100% safe. I really did my research on this because I started giving this to my children when they were toddlers. And it was really important to me to know that if I gave it to them for 20 years, that it was going to benefit their health tremendously and be impeccably safe. Here's what I uncovered in my research. 20 million plus people have used Shaklee products. With 20 million plus people using it, the safety is unparalleled because we know with that many people using it and no instances of people being harmed by it, that it has a really amazing safety record. And the reason that 20 million people can use Shaklee products without side effects, without harmful effects from that, is because they do over 250 tests on the raw botanicals for pesticides, more than what is required by the USP for pesticides and contaminants. And so the USP, which is the US Pharmacopoeia, sets a standard that is supposed to be the standard that all supplement companies are supposed to follow for testing their products for contaminants, pesticides, mercury, lead, arsenic, naturally occurring contaminants as well. Shaklee does that plus 250 more tests above what's required. Also, 74,000 plus tests on the raw materials of just their life plan program alone, and 100,000 quality tests every single year for purity and potency. They're also 100% proven. So it was important to me that there were 2 aspects that they were proven scientifically in the lab, and that they were proven in people in broad clinical studies. So here is the distinction, a line of distinction with Shaklee, and really one of the main reasons that I chose Shaklee as a brand partner to use personally and in my family, and for my business and for my clients. So the clinical studies are unmatched. There is no other company to date that comes even close to having more than 100 clinical studies on their products. Now, just to give you a brief idea of what the difference is, you don't have to have a clinical study on your product to put it on the market. As a matter of fact, you can manufacture a product in your home basically and put it on the market tomorrow. You don't have to have clinical studies. It doesn't have to be tested on people. It doesn't even have to have the active ingredient in it for you to put it on the market and it to work. As Trudy mentioned, the FDA actually has little oversight. There is oversight, but the market is so flooded with supplements, they just don't have the manpower. And it says this directly on their website. They just don't have the manpower to test everything on the market. And so the clinical studies are the differentiating factor for me, because it means that that Shaklee has gone to the extra effort to do third-party, double-blind clinical research on the products to make sure it works. We're going to talk about double-blind studies and what that means in just a second. But because of all the clinical research, Shaklee also holds over 100 patents on their products. And that simply means that the product is so unique, it's never been created before, it creates a result that is so unique that it's awarded a patent, which means that the formulation can't be copied. Also, which we'll talk about in a second, is the 20-year landmark study, which now has a second follow-up study to it with amazing clinical results in people. So Shaklee products are proven in the lab by double-blind clinical trials. And what that means is that in a double-blind clinical trial, the doctor administering the supplement versus placebo. So you have a random group of people, and those people are split into two groups. One group is given a placebo, and one group is given the product that's being tested. And neither the doctor nor the people in the trial know which group is getting the placebo and which group is getting the actual product that's being tested. There's kind of a researcher behind the scenes that gives the doctor what's being administered, and then the people take it and they don't know. And that is so that neither the doctor nor the participants can let their own personal opinions influence the outcome of the study. That's really important. Now, what makes that distinctly different is because obviously this involves paying third-party labs to administer your clinical trial. And it's an expensive process, and most supplement companies just don't invest that kind of money in research to be able to do that. What is the importance of peer review? Maybe you've not heard peer review, but for me, it's really critically important when it comes to science and scientific testing. So this is actually a step above clinical studies that Shaklee uses to ensure that not only are they doing their own clinical research, proving the product works, they're putting this out for independent clinical review in double-blind studies. And then a step beyond that is they're submitting their work to peer review to have other people whose job it is to tear apart the research and say that it was faulty or that the science isn't good. So this is like when you hand a paper to someone and you say, find all of the errors in it. That's exactly what peer review is. And so Shaklee goes this extra step, and they submit their research to a group of peers that are randomly selected in whatever field it is, if it's sports nutrition, if it's weight loss or whatever. So the peers are experts in this particular area, and their job is to rip apart the science and say that it is invalidated. So they're looking for flaws. And Shaklee has over 100 studies that have been accepted by peer-reviewed medical journals, which is absolutely unheard of. I think it's up to 135 now clinical studies that are published. So here's a little bit of an idea of what the peer review process works like, what it looks like. And this may not matter to you, but to me and what I do, it is invaluable because it means that the researcher does the work, they submit it, a panel of people look at it, they reject it or they accept it, or they say you need to make these changes in it because we found these errors. And then after it goes through this really tremendously long process, then that work can be published in major scientific journals. Now, some companies will publish their research in paid journals, but it doesn't mean that it went through the peer review process. It just means they paid to get their article put in there. And so peer review is distinctly different. Okay, here's an example of some of the scientific research that's done on Shaklee products. Those little blue lines with the yellow dots on the end are telomeres. And this is a recent discovery in the last few years. Telomeres are like the little plastic end caps on your shoelaces, and they protect your shoelace from getting frayed. Telomeres are exactly that. They're in the end cap on the ends of the DNA strands, and they protect your DNA from damage. And what this study showed is that Shaklee product users, particularly those who use the product Vivix, that was the product that was studied specifically, 80-year-old Shaklee product users would have the telomere length of basically a 41-year-old person. And this was a very prestigious study that was done by the woman who discovered the value of telomere length. So you can read more about that in her study, and she wrote an entire book on it. But it was a Shaklee product that was actually used in a study that she found was most beneficial for protecting your telomeres. This is an example of another study that was done several years ago and has actually been followed up with another study called the Landmark 2 study. But this study was the first ever of its kind, and it could have produced some potentially scary results because Shaklee users who have been faithful users of Shaklee products for 20 years have been tested in comparison to people who used other supplement brands and to people who used no supplements at all. And this was an amazing 20-year long-term study. And this study looked at key biomarkers of health, like incidence of cardiovascular disease, diabetes, high levels of C-reactive protein, good levels of HDL. So it looked at a whole lot of different factors that are biomarkers of health, and it compared people who had used Shaklee products for 20 years to people who had used other brands. And the study was completely managed by a third party. So Shaklee had no input into the end result at all. They were waiting on the study results just like everyone else. It involved people having blood drawn, measuring blood levels of all different types of nutrients, and checking blood lipid panels and all kinds of things. It was a really fascinating long-term study. And in that study, as you can see, the green bar represents people who had used Shaklee products. And the blue bar is people who had used other supplements. And the red bar was people who had used no supplements at all. Actually, I think I got that reverse. And so in this study, it showed that people who use Shaklee products were had better biomarkers for health than people who use no supplements at all or people who use even other brands. The landmark study conclusion was that using Shaklee products was a better, I'm tripping over my words on this, we're going to re-record this, this study proved the impressive results for long-term supplement use. It was the first ever of its kind, but it's important to remember that most companies don't use the same level of quality assurance in the manufacture of their products as Shaklee does, and very few companies run any clinical tests at all. So those landmark study benefits would only apply to people who use Shaklee products. Because the clinical results in the lab are so impressive, Shaklee is also proven in people. I changed that to by people. Did you get my latest version of the slides?
Oh, well then I didn't see that it was different, so I can revise it.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. I decided to be consistent with Shaklee's wording.
Okay.
These are just a few of the examples of the amazing feats of human endurance that have been powered by Shaklee products. Shaklee products powered the first ever Mount Everest climb that did not need supplemental oxygen, the longest human-powered flight experiment across the Aegean Sea, a trip across the North Pole using Shaklee products as their main source of sustenance. Shaklee products have been used exclusively on Jacques Cousteau's research vessels. The Voyager flight, which was the first nonstop flight around the world, was powered by Shaklee products. And then Shaklee products have been used on every NASA mission since the 80s, and are used as Shaklee developed the rehydration drink that all astronauts still use when they re-enter the Earth's atmosphere.
I love this slide.
Me too. One of the most impressive things to me as an athlete myself, as a personal trainer, and for my work in nutrition, is this number right here: 146 gold, silver, and bronze medals won by by Olympic athletes who were powered by Shaklee Nutrition. I'm very privileged to get to interact with some of those medalists personally at a science symposium that I attend every year that's sponsored by Shaklee. And you can see on the left-hand side of your screen my picture holding an Olympic gold medal, standing next to an Olympic gold medalist, and then the picture at the bottom is my picture with Eli Brimmer, who is also an Olympian, and I actually got to share a microphone with him and ask questions to Olympic athletes, which was a whole lot of fun. I got to ask them questions about their nutrition and their workout. So Shaklee products are also 100% guaranteed. It's a little slow in advancing the slides right now for some reason.
That slide still does not say guaranteed to be safe.
I changed it.
Okay, so I got to see, I didn't know what to, I was just scanning them really fast. So safe, proven, okay, change that slide. Safe, proven, guaranteed. Okay, go ahead.
So as you can see, Shaklee products are safe, proven, and guaranteed. And they're so confident that their products are safe, proven, and guaranteed that they back them with 100% money back guarantee. No questions asked. If you don't feel like the products work for you, they will give you your money back without asking questions. Not only are they proven to be safe and clinically proven, but also they're certified to be better than organic. I'll tell you what that means in just a second. Not genetically modified, and they use no animal testing. Better than organic simply means that a product can be certified organic if it's grown organically, but that doesn't mean that it's organic when it gets to you. It could have been shipped in a container that was sprayed with pesticides and you wouldn't even know it. And so Shaklee proves that their products are better than organic because of their rigorous testing methods. Also, the products are proven to be bioavailable. Why does that matter? It matters because not all vitamins are created equally, as you can see in this x-ray. This is an x-ray of unabsorbed vitamins leaving the body. Their different ones are circled and the times that they were taken, and you can see in the lowest portion of this x-ray a vitamin that was taken 2 days prior to the x-ray, still completely intact and unabsorbed by the system, leaving the body.
Wow.
Definitely do not want to waste your money on supplements that do not even dissolve in your system. Here's how Shaklee makes sure that those supplements that they produce are bioavailable. They have a patent on a product called the Shaklee Micronutrient Advanced Release Technology System. And what it simply means is this: the products, the supplements are designed to release in the ideal place at the right time. The exact right nutrients released in the exact right place at the exact right time. And there are 12 patents and 2 pending on this vitalizer and the process that is involved in it.
We better rush to the end because so we can get ready for that next webinar.
Yeah.
Just click on through.
Okay.
And then maybe I'll have time to go change those 2 slides. So let's hear your ending.
Okay. So what's next? What this means for you is if you've heard this and you are not taking any supplements at all and you're ready to start adding supplements to your regimen to improve your health, then the next thing is to contact the person who sent you this link. Talk to them to find out which supplements are the best starting place for you. Now, let me emphasize this. Talk to the person who sent you the link. These products are not legally sold through any other avenue. You can't legally purchase them on Amazon, although you can find them there illegally. You can't legally purchase them on eBay, although you might be able to find them there illegally. And the reason that they're not legally sold on those avenues is because Shaklee is completely intent on controlling the quality of the product. And a lot of the products that are sold online, supplement products that are sold online through Amazon and other similar means, are actually knockoff products, or they're out of date. You just don't want to take a chance with your health on those.
And just say they have, make sure you also say they have no guarantee of any kind.
Right. And Shaklee does not guarantee those products that are purchased through Amazon and other means. So you want to make sure that you're protecting yourself and your hard-earned money by ordering through valid means. And that means directly through a person, even though you can do that on their website. So talk to the person who sent you the link. You'll want to make sure that you have, you're connected with a person who is trained and knowledgeable in the products to help you. And of course, if you don't have anyone and you just stumbled across this and you don't have anyone, then Trudy or I, either one, would be happy to talk to you and help you know the right place for you to start. Secondly, if you are using supplements and you're now wondering if your supplements are safe and effective, your health is worth being certain. If you're ready to change brands and see the effect that that has on you, then again, talk to the person who sent you the link, contact Trudy or myself, and we'll make sure that you get started on the program that is right for you. Here's our
Yeah, you go ahead.
Are you gonna end that then?
Maybe I should say something now since you've talked so much.
Yes, I think that's a good idea.
Thank you, Tonya. I'm always amazed at your expertise in explaining things. That was amazing. So here's our contact information. If you have any questions about anything we've said, or you need to contact us specifically about what products to get started on, feel free to contact us. Text is actually the best way. So have a great day. Thank you for joining us. That's it.
Yeah,
You're going to have to hit, huh?
Yeah, that's good.